right, it is 7:30 this morning. We're going to give a few minutes for those that are just arriving to go ahead and access the link. We'll do a little convocation walkthrough. Should take just about 10 minutes. And then if you're unable to view this live, you should have access to the live link. But we'll start up here in just about 2 minutes. Again, I see everybody starting to access the program. So here in just a few minutes, we'll get started. So we'll just go right at about 7:32. We'll get started with the program. Thank you. All right, guys, good morning. Here it is, 7:32. I just want to give you guys a few minutes to get in. So we're just starting up. So if you're just now joining us, don't worry. Thank you for taking the time this morning to join this webinar. I just wanted to give you guys some information. So this is a YouTube Live. This is just the second or third time I've tried this. My name is Patrick Elmore. I'm with the Office of Professional Development, just in case. So what I'm going to show you today is just kind of run through some of the basics of Convocation. Make sure you understand your transportation, your pickup, your seating, and then also the presentation, since you as principals and campus leadership and district leadership will be playing a big role in the presentation itself. I want to make sure that you're comfortable, and if you have any questions, you're able to ask those. So right now, if you look directly below the video, you should see a live chat on the YouTube page. In that, there is a link. If you click on that link, I see several of you have already joined into this worksheet. It's a view of the worksheet that I'm showing you on the screen right here. So you're able to access that link in the live chat section right below the video. You can go in and you can actually view this document as I'm viewing it on the screen as well. So I'm going to take my face off the screen, give us some room, and then talk through the rest of this. I'll come on every once in a while, but I don't think I want to look at my face all morning. That being said, here we are. The main page on this is the logistics. So you were sent this in FYI. I've added a few updates in regards to lunch release, and then I'm also going to show you a breakout again of Chisholm Hall for your seating. But as you can see, this is listed by campus. And on the sheet, each campus is then provided information including the number of buses that will be arriving at your campus. So you can see here Alta Vista will receive 2 buses. Departure time from campus should be 8:15. David Gray with Gold Stars done a great job of putting this together. You should arrive approximately 8:25 to the convention center, and you can see that you're going to be dropped off at the Washington Avenue entrance. This is going to be the main first floor entrance at the front of the convention center. We have half of our campuses being dropped off at Washington, the other half being dropped off at Franklin. You can see then it's going to provide you with a section and rows. So in just a second, I'm going to show you the Chisholm Hall layout. And the Chisholm Hall layout has been broken up into sections, and your rows will actually be labeled by your campus. So you can see Chisholm Hall, if you remember from last year, is the main hall of the convention center. The eating halls will be McLennan Hall and the Brazos Ballroom, but all Waco ISD employees will be in Chisholm Hall together for Convocation this year. So again, you can see the seating. Section 1 is listed from front to back. Section 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. and then you can see section 2, 3, and 4 are all labeled the same. Again, we will have the rows marked as well, but if we go back, we see that Alta Vista, you are seated in section 1A, rows 1 through 7. So again, on the map, you'll be in the front corner. That would be stage right, I'm told. So you'll be front stage right, rows 1 through 7. And again, that will be marked. We'll have ushers in the hall as well to guide your campus there if you have any questions. After that, you can see your approximate lunch release time. Now, this is going to be key. We're releasing 2,300 plus employees to lunch. So this is going to have to be somewhat orderly. I'll display this information on the PowerPoint presentation as well. Mr. Carpenter will be over the loudspeaker announcing releases as well. But the more you guys can help in understanding with your campus and your personnel when you should be released, the smoother that operation should run and the quicker we can get you guys through the line. So with that, you can see the lunch release will actually take place. We're going to be exiting our 2 outer sections first. Sections 1 and sections 4 will be released to lunch first. Section 1 will release to the McLennan exit, or the McLennan Hall. So the exit is the back of the Chisholm Hall, and we'll line up like we did last year. We'll exit out the back entrance and line up around the other side of McLennan Hall to come in and eat. Section 4 will release out the back left entrance of Chisholm Hall, going up the front of the convention center, and then line up for the Brazos Ballroom. Section 2 will also go to McLennan Hall. Section 3 will go to Brazos. So we're basically splitting Chisholm Hall down the center for the releases on lunch. We are going to stagger the release times to try to prevent the lines from becoming overcrowded. We do have additional overflow seating that will be set up in the back of Chisholm Hall for eating as well. But based on the number of employees, the number of seats, we should be able to operate this pretty smoothly. So you can see again, lunch release time is based on your seating section. We did this based on geographic location, how far your campus was from the convention center. We want to try to get everybody back to their campus as quickly as possible in a timely manner to make sure that your teachers can get back to what they need to get done and make sure that you as campus leadership can get back to what you need to get done. But again, those lunch release times are on there. These are, of course, approximations based on what we're hoping logistically should occur. If there's any slight changes that will occur during the course of the event, those will come over as announcements over the loud system and the PowerPoint presentation. But again, you can see lunch release as well as which room you'll be eating in and the hopeful for bus staging time. Now, the way the buses will work, we will work together entire groups, and the buses will be staged close to Convention Center. We'll call up those buses for entire campus groups as they're trying to finish, so we'll have a staggered release this year. Our goal is, of course, to not have you guys sitting and waiting on transportation. Again, we want to get you in and out in a timely and efficient manner. So that logistics page, if you want to print it, all you have to do in any type of document in Google, so here if you highlight this spreadsheet, you do a Control-P, it's going to bring up a print menu. You can print the current sheet or you can print selected cells, and then you can print that off for you to have. So let's talk about, once we get you there, once you've arrived, let's talk a little bit about the agenda. Now you notice all the arrival times are prior to 8:40. Brook Avenue is pushing it pretty close at 8:35. The way the agenda is set up, bands will begin to play into the Chisholm Hall at 8:40. So it's going to be important that we get to our seating as quickly as possible. Otherwise, the bands are going to be kind of set up in the entry area. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to get by them. We'll try to hold, of course, all bands until all campuses arrive. We're hoping all transportation is clear, no breakdowns or anything like that. For any employees that missed the bus, of course, the Convention Center parking is still available. Again, if you just kind of let them know your seating section, and of course we'll have ushers there to help get them in. So the agenda itself, we see that the event is scheduled to start at 9 o'clock, but again, the bands will play us in at 8:40. The bands will be playing back and forth. We'll have a pep band So about a 30 to 40 group member band from each high school playing. Those will be in the main auditorium. So again, trying to be in your seating by 8:40. We see that the event itself, starting with the presentation of colors, we have several special guests along with the invocation. Then we begin our introductions, and this is really where you as campus leadership, district leadership, will kind of need to know timing and where to present yourselves to be ready to go over the stage. So all principals will be introduced, and then also will go across the stage during that introduction. That introduction was based on some information Laura Robertson gathered from you guys in a Google form, and she has placed all of that into a script that will be read out during your introduction. So we're going to be introducing campus principals in the order of elementary first. You can see here the agenda item has you listed in the order that you'll be called across stage. You can see we're estimating about 30 seconds, so this is an opportunity for your campus to really kind of go crazy, kind of cheer you on, cheer on the culture and the great things that are going to happen on your campus this year. So there'll be noisemakers available in the crowd provided by the office of Dr. Robin McDurham, and just it's an opportunity for them to really let everybody know what the campus is about. But you can see again the order of introductions are based there. You'll see that as campus principals, you'll be introduced around 9:30. So we'll have you guys staged probably prior to or at the start of or the special guest introductions. So if you're with your campus after the invocation addressed by Jim and Doral, if you can begin to make your way to stage left. Now, when I say stage left, you can see here that would be facing from on the stage out to the audience. If you remember from last year, on this side there's an audio-visual table. This is where we're set up doing all of the TV program as well as the audio-visual for the event. The staging, if you could make your way to this far wall, and then we will stage you from behind the screen, as this is where you'll enter stage. So you can see here again, based on the agenda, Mr. Alexander, if you are the first one to enter, it's giving you a stage location. These will be marked on stage. So we'll call out your name, Joseph Alexander, West Avenue Elementary. We'll read off the script, and you'll make your way across to space 1 on the stage. You'll stay there as we call out the remaining principals, and then we'll release all elementary principals at one time. So your introduction on that, Laura Robertson will be behind stage as well to help guide you across, and we will give you an introduction. There's music, and then Mr. Carpenter will call out the script as you move across stage. After elementary, we'll line up our middle schools, again staged in the same area, stage left. Middle schools, of course, a few less principals, but you can see our 4 principals. Again, it gives you stage location. So Mr. McAdoo here would go to location 7. So once his name's called, he'll move to stage 7. Dr. Jenkins and our others will then make their way, and then once all middle school principals have been introduced, we'll release them as a group to exit stage right. Once you exit stage right, you can go back to your location with your campus, and that's the end of your role as far as movement across stage at that time. High school principals will go last, and again, we're looking at approximate time and then stage location. These orders will be followed as far as the naming. That's how the presentation has been set up. And again, once you have entered the stage and all principals are on stage for high school, we'll release you as a group, and then you can return back to your seating exiting stage right. So again, the stage will be marked with the markings and numbering on stage to let you know exactly where to go. Laura Robertson will be staged in the back, and Tammy Wheathorn will also be staged on stage right to help assist and guide you in that direction. But again, at the agenda, at the point of the completion of the invocation addressed by Mr. Doral, if you could begin to make your way up to stage left behind the audio-visual table. So the audio-visual will be set here. We'll line you up and get you back to stage left and ready to make your way across stage after the introduction of the Board of Trustees and the Superintendent's Cabinet. Just so you know, and again for your viewing, So there will be a presentation, there'll be music, and you can kind of see here, here's a sample from Mr. Alexander. So as you're making your way across stage, you'll see the PowerPoint presentation will be presented on the 4 screens. And again, they'll read the information about you and West Avenue Elementary with music playing in the background this whole time. So should be a really good event. All of y'all did a great job of getting these pictures in, a lot of action shots, so a lot of fun there. Once you've made your way across stage and made your way back to the audience, the remainder of events will run till approximately 10:50. Then we go back to the release for lunch. Once you're done with lunch and you have your group kind of set and scheduled, we will have microphones in the Brazos at McLennan Hall, and we'll try to make those announcements for the transportation. Again, we want you guys to have time to eat, to have that fellowship with your campus teams, with the leadership teams, but then also to be able to efficiently get back to your campus without having to wait in the lobby area for your transportation. So we've worked really hard to try to work that schedule. If you can really just help us on the release times, having your campuses pay attention to when they're being released, it should really help out. But we're looking forward to having just a great event with a lot of positive energy to really focus on the work that lies ahead. If at any point you have any questions, let me go ahead and pull me back up for this. If at any point you have any questions regarding the event, please do not hesitate to contact me. We will be at the Convention Center this afternoon. That is the 14th of August, starting at about noon. At about 3:30, we'll be operating some walkthroughs. If you want to come see, we should be there till 5 o'clock. If you want to come by and see your seating, your section, just so you have a better idea of how that's going to work out, please feel free. You're more than welcome to come by. If you have any questions, my cell phone number, 254-495-4197. And of course, you can contact me by email or get in touch with Vivian Watley, and we'll answer any questions you might have. But I'm looking forward to a great event, and thank you again for all you do for the students of Waco ISD.